superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell. Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good. Nil, yes! Oh, how good was that?
We were lucky enough to see the great man over in Miami last year. I think it was a pre-season game, New Orleans v Miami. He looked after us, got us down on the court. Do you have many friends ever that come from Australia to come watch you play and visit you? Because obviously you're away from friends and family a lot of the time, but like when do you get your crew over to come and see you?
Yeah, I mean it was hard my rookie year because the schedule came out so late, and but I had my family come down for like Christmas, and they spent about a month with me. Had my friends come down. I had two of my friends come down for about 2 weeks, in the new year. So that was good, but I mean, it can be hard because, you're traveling so much, and, it's hard to find like a good week home stretch where they can come, just chill with you for a bit. But, there's always a lot of Aussies in the crowd, coming down to watch games. So they got the Australian flag, and whenever I see one, whenever I see one, I try to get to them and say what's up. But, seeing you boys at Miami, that preseason game, and
that's right. You got us on the court, and then you were told us that the team might be going out, and me and Flip were like, oh, maybe we just tie on the back of that. Hang out with Zion for the night. But we went our separate ways. I think you guys were flying to a new city. But how have you found the whole like NBA lifestyle? It's relentless in terms of how much you guys travel, always on the road, and as you mentioned, a few challenges in your rookie season. But are you just used to it now?
Yeah, I'd say I'm used to it now, but it's tough. They have a thing called the rookie wall, which I hit towards probably the 60-game mark of the season. And
hit the wall, did you?
Yeah, hit the wall.
Fatigue.
Just mental fatigue, physical fatigue, everything. It's just all comes crashing down on you at once, and you're trying to perform, but you just got a million things running through your head. So it's tough. It's tough. It's a long season, 82 games. I had a lot of injuries, through the year, so I only ended up playing about 55, but. I think those injuries, kind of helped me reset a little bit, but, I'm definitely prepared for year two now. I know what to expect. It's a lot of travel, a lot of staying in hotels, a lot of, media, all that sort of stuff, outside noise. So kind of, just got to find your routine, lock in, and, I think it's all about routine and, doing the same stuff over and over again. And, that's how the great players, play a long time.
What does a typical week look like? Say if you've got 2 to 3 games in a 7-day period, is that sort of how it normally looks? And then the travel aspect and having a shoot around, like how does it, and then your prep and your recovery, like run us through sort of how that actually
it's
looks.
a week. It's different every week because sometimes you might be home for a week, and if you're home for a week, it'll be like a game, practice day, game, practice day, game. Could be a back-to-back. It could be a game in New Orleans at night.
Imagine if it's like when it's you got 2 home games in a row or 3. It's like you can sort of you've half sort of got a normal life, sort of staying in the same place for a period of time. And then if you're on the road for 3 weeks,
like they give you like a stretch of home, then a stretch of away.
Yeah. I mean it's different. Like we had a 2-week stretch at home at one point. We had a 2-week stretch on the road at one point, and then there's like I think might have been January, we had a 30-day stretch where we played 18 games. So we had there's weeks where you have back-to-backs. You might play in New Orleans one night, and then you got to go fly down to LA and play there the next night. So it's a tough schedule, and you have harder months, you have easier months, you have easier weeks, you have harder weeks. So it's really just different, every time. But if you're losing a few games in a row, the coach might be putting pressure on you, and you might be practicing the next day, or if you're on a good winning streak, you might have lighter days after your game. So every week's different, but it's very, very taxing on the body.
Yeah, and you've got some great examples, as you mentioned. You sort of figure it out on the run, what the more mature and older players are doing. You've obviously been teammates with Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson. Maybe we start with Zion. What can you learn from someone like him who's obviously off the scale in terms of his popularity and how big he is as an athlete? And I'm sure with his strengths and size, there's things he does to prepare to play at an elite level. What have you picked up from him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Zion is a great player. He's had his fair share of injuries, but he's one guy that really does take care of his body and really puts the work into his body. And being that size and moving like he does, injuries are going to happen. But just the way he carries himself, with the outside noise and all the people putting pressure on him, is you don't see that very often because he's just getting bashed all the time, put down, and you know, just the way he carries himself, brings himself in every day with a smile on his face, you know, good energy. You know, you need that around the locker room. You need those type of guys. And, you know, we have a really good, you know, older group of guys that, you know, that help him out and, you know, help each other out. And, yeah, like CJ, you know, Garrett Temple, Larry Nance, these guys who have been in the league a long time, they're really good at, you know, being a vocal leader and, you know, talking to us, you know, talking like just giving us advice on, you know, what it's like to be in the NBA and, you know, how we can better ourselves and, you know, be better with routine, you know, eating habits, you know, all that sort of stuff. So that was one thing that I was really happy with in New Orleans was the veteran leadership that we have.
Yeah. Can you imagine that flip? Like
cool.
we, you know, in footy, you know, every now and then you'll have things written about you, but when you compare the scale of the NBA to the AFL, like that's within Australia, within the footy bowl of Melbourne, then you've got, say, athletes like Zion he's talking about. Like everyone in the world knows everyone's business, and it'd be so tough.
I was going to say, like, after, you know, AFL players play an average game, or, you know, there's probably some hate messages, or you know, someone out there potting you, having a go. Like, and as you say, like we're big fishes in a small pond, really. But then in the NBA and the US, there's a lot of sport going on. The market's massive. Like, for yourself, do you have people, like, to make sure you do your job really well? Obviously, you'd have a big support crew and a big sort of team behind you with your, like, your social media and that sort of stuff. Do you look at comments much, or, you know, news and that sort of stuff after you play a good game, a bad game, or do you sort of just roll on to the sort of next? Yeah.
I see everything, and I think it's funny, you know, the world we live in today, we have sports, gambling and stuff like that, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it. If you don't, you know, get someone's multi for them, then they're going to let you know about
I reckon, funny you say that, my whole DMs in the request section
25 plus if you don't get it.
30-year-old males plus abusing you because you didn't get a touch to get their multi.
By the way, can you get back to them? Say, hey guys, how are you? Yeah.
See, I actually reply to some of them sometimes. All they want is a reply, and then they switch up on you.
Well,
real
they
quick.
normally back down. If you reply, then they go, "Oh, sorry."
They're surprised, right? They
Yeah.
probably wouldn't go, "Oh, Dyson's actually. How's he got back to me?"
Because they don't expect a reply,
it.
and then they get a reply. They're like, "Oh shit, I'm
weird.
sorry." Like,
Yeah,
I didn't know
especially when they
say
go.
that.
Yeah, they're always actually really nice after that.
Yeah, but no, I had a game against LA. It was like my 8th game of the year, and we were up 3 points with like 2 seconds left. I had 2 free throws, needed to make one. The game's over. I missed both. They grab a rebound. They go down. They call a timeout. They go down the other end, call up a play. No, they hit like a fadeaway 3 from the corner. We go to overtime. We lose that game. My phone after that was off for at least 2 weeks. My parents were getting death threats. My brothers were getting messages, all that sort of stuff. And you know, it was tough, but it was good for me just to, you know, learn like what it's like. And you know, obviously it was hard because, you know, I basically lost just that game. You know, I just needed to make 1 free throw and it was over. So it was hard, but my teammates were really good with supporting me and my coaching staff. And you know, we have a really good, you know, family organization that, you know, is always going to be there for you. So it was tough, you know, having that. But after 2 weeks, I started getting back to some of the people, and they forgot about it. They switched up. So, but yeah, no, at the end of the day, it's all good fun and games.
So as a player, how many people do you actually have in your professional team? So outside of the club environment and the team, for you yourself, you know, your management, you know, your hobbies and interests outside of basketball, social media, like.
Daniel Moldovan, shout out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What does it all sort of look like for you from that angle?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, I have my agent, obviously, but in my agency, I have, like, a lot of people who I can just go to for help. I have my manager now that I live with, and I also have my close friends that I can go to for stuff, you know, like my financial advisor. I got, like, people in New Orleans, like, that can just help me set up with, like, restaurants and stuff like that. So, you know, that's one benefit that you do get from, you know, being in the NBA is just like everyone wanting to help you, and you know, some people are gonna want stuff in return, but some people just do it out of good nature, and you know, you gotta find those people because you know, like I said, it can be a long season, it can be physically taxing, mentally taxing, and you just want some of those people to, you know, help you out sometimes. So it's a small circle, but it's also a good circle that, you know, has a lot of people they can go to contact if you need something, and just like you basically have someone for everything you need. So.
I've been fortunate enough to do a fair bit of travel to the States, and with you a little bit, obviously. And there was one year where I met KD, Kevin Durant, and that was unreal. It was when he was at the Warriors. Steph was there as well. You were talking off air before about how they, you know, the team does their pre-game shoot around the night before a game. The morning of the game. So they'll do it in the morning that night. Anyway, chatting to KD, he said his biggest thing in his life was having people around him that he could trust. And that's why he said his circle was so small, because he's like, as bad as it sounds, a lot of people were just trying to get things from him, you know what I mean? And weren't real genuine people. So he sort of explained, like, you know, he kept his circle so close because he can't afford to open himself up, which is pretty sad, but it's it makes a lot of sense because, you know, people want to get to guys in that position. So yeah, it sounds like you've got a great circle around you, which is awesome. What about in terms of away from basketball, like with the schedule that's so full on, what do you do to get your mind away from it?
Yeah. I love gaming. I love DJing.
You got your own decks?
I got my own decks, so you know that's something that I can just go to take my mind off of things, and you know, I want to start making beats and stuff like that. Sure. And you know, Brandon Ingram on my team, he does that sort of stuff, makes beats, makes music. So you know, I'm going to go to him and, you know, learn off him. He's got his own studio and stuff. So you know, I love music, so that kind of just takes my mind off things. Cool. But yeah, otherwise I'll just be chilling on the game.
Xbox,
you know, watching
PlayStation.
PlayStation, watching footy highlights, Tommy Mitchell highlights. But no, it's good fun. But you know, basketball takes up so much of my day that you don't really get that much time off. But when I do, I like to relax and. You know,
what sort of music we talking?
Hip hop, R&B. I like Afro beats, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I like different genres, different moods. You know, depending on what I'm feeling. Yeah.
We'll get you a set at the Emerson. We'll tee that up. Exactly. We'll come watch.
Get me on the decks, Tommy.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a few that's become more popular, I reckon, with like I know one of our teammates, CJ, in the past, and like there's more athletes that are you know, into their music naturally and sort of looking at.
I reckon it'd be an unreal skill set to have. Imagine just you can do it. You can play decks.
Yeah, everyone can. Well, not great, but you know, like mix.
You're better than your average
mixing is a little bit different to creating your own music, right? And,
and
actually the art of that. So that's the next step, and that's it's pretty cool.
So we asked about footy as well. So you're a Tigers man.
Tigers man, big Tigers.
So we can't get you to the Pies. It's a bit too late for that. But
how did you get? How did you get Giddy to the Pies? You just.
Don't know, mate. Yeah, don't know how I did that actually.
I've never seen someone switch up like that.
He's jumped on board, which is good. Well, when I first met Gids, it was obviously because he was Hawks, and we took him through the facility at Hawthorn. And then I think just because Colin was just on this wave at the moment, he wanted to jump on the wave. So we've been hooking him up with some tickets. You guys are obviously coming to the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be there.
That'll be huge.
Be there in my Tigers jersey.
Yeah, you wear your Tigers jersey to Carlton Collingwood. You get some weird looks there. So growing up, you spoke about how you had, you know, footy, basketball, obviously very into your sport. When did you make the decision, and why did you lead to basketball in the end?
Yeah, I always played a lot of sports growing up: soccer, footy, basketball, bit of cricket, and you know, I think I did basketball and footy for about 8 years until I was about 15 years old, and you know, I had to make a decision because I had an offer to go to the AIS, and it was either I take that and I have to drop footy after that, or I continue to play both and make a decision later. But I knew that basketball was the right choice for me. But I didn't want to give up footy. I really love footy, so that was a tough decision. But
come play with us in your off seasons.
Exactly.
Category B rookie. Where would you play?
Yeah. But no, I always say, like, if
he can play mid.
If basketball doesn't work out for some reason, I'd love to come play footy. So definitely, definitely love my footy. I always watch my footy. I used to sit on make a bed on the ground at home and watch the games from like 1:40 to 7:50 and not move. So
did you ever get to any of the Tigers grand finals?
I've never been to a grand final before. Nah.
We have to go. When do you have to go back to the States this year?
I got to go back.
October or
September.
Yeah,
but I'll
just miss it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just miss it. So I would love to get to a grand final one day. Just the environment, but definitely had big parties when the Tigers were in the finals for sure.
100%.
You said you grew up with some current AFL players as well and played footy with and against them. Who are some of those?
Yeah, I played. Like with the under 12 Victorian team, I played with guys like Ben Hobbs, Campbell Chesser, Josh Ward. Played basketball with like Marcus Winhager. Played basketball against like Jamara Ugle-Hagan. There's so many from that team that I'm gonna leave out, but I play with a lot of these guys now, so to see them succeeding in their sport's pretty cool. They're friendships that I'm gonna have for life for sure.
I reckon you made the right call going the NBA. if you can go top 10 pick of the NBA, you're taking that any day of the week.
Yeah, I think so.
So you would pick 8, I think it was?
Yeah, pick 8.
Pick
yeah.
8. Talk to us about draft night, because obviously AFL draft night's a bit different. Probably the top 10 are in the venue when they're releasing the names, and then everyone else is watching on TV.
Yeah.
But to go top 10 in the NBA, that's like a worldwide event.
Mm-hmm.
You suited up. Can't remember what colour did you wear. What colour suit?
I was like a grey with like tin, like it was like looked like Tim, or whatever they call it from Dorothy, that Tin Man.
The Tin
Yeah.
Man.
Were you happy with
Yeah.
it?
I was so basically when I choose my suit, I have like a little piece of fabric to like look at. So
Look
it's
at
like
the
kind of
colour,
hard
yeah.
to see what it was gonna turn out like. But I was happy with how it was. You know, it was definitely controversial. You know, some people loved it, some people hated it. So, but you know, you get one shot at it, so you wanna stand out. Yeah, draft night was it was huge, and you know, being in New York, you know, you're there about 4 days before, which is
every draft in New York or just this one?
Yeah, they're all in New
All
York.
in New York,
They're all in New York. So it's at our Barclays Center, so Brooklyn's arena. Yeah, it's a huge build-up. You know, you have a good 4 or 5 months of just pre-draft stuff and working out, media attention, all that stuff.
Projections
So
and things.
exactly.
Do you chat to like what's that 4 to 5 months build up like? You know, like is it chatting to every single team or only ones that are interested? Is it like, how does that all sort of work? Contracts,
Yeah,
finances?
I mean, it's so the first two months of that 5 months is about just getting in shape, building your body, you know, getting ready, and then you know, team workouts will start about 2 months before the draft, and you know, they'll invite you to come work out, and then you know, in that 2 month period, there's also the draft combine. So you go to that, you do all your testing, and you sit down with interview. Like I think I had 20 interviews, so I did 20 teams, and then I ended up working out for 7 teams, and you kind of know the range that you're going to be picked at. So your agents make calls on who you want to go work out with, and you know, if you're a higher pick, you know, you kind of get a little bit more say in whether you want to go to a team or not. But at the end of the day, the team, if they want to pick you, they'll pick you. But you see in today, some teams just won't pick players because they just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, it's a big build up, and you know, draft night especially, you have everyone there, your close circle, and you know, after my draft, I was just exhausted. I had the biggest headache ever, so I went to my draft party and I was there for like 30 minutes, went back and went to sleep. So it's just a huge build up, so mentally fatiguing, but it's definitely very fun and very stressful.
Which other teams? Sorry,
You go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go. Okay. Which other teams did you think you were going to go to? Like, obviously Pelicans must have shown a lot of interest, but who was around the ballpark? You're like, I'm going to go there, or I think I'm going to go here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams showed interest in me, so I was like very unsure on the draft night. Like some people will know, like I got a promise from the team, I'm going there, but I had no promises, but I had a lot of interest, and it was around the 6 to 10 mark. So I think 6 was Indiana, 7 was Portland, 8 New Orleans, 9 San Antonio, and 10 Washington. So I kind of knew I was going to fall in that range, and you know, about 2 minutes before the draft, all the cameras will come to your table, and you know that's where you're going. So it's pretty cool that moment. But you know, I was definitely happy to land in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like how you said that sometimes the teams won't pick you if the player doesn't want to go there, but then in the AFL, teams can pluck, you know, a Gold Coast team or a Western Australian team might pluck a Victorian, and that player might not want to go, but the team goes, nah.
You
like,
have to.
yeah,
On the flip side
like
to
it's
that,
sort of
with the trade stuff, so obviously in the NBA, it's like you're so disposable.
Correct.
Yeah, without contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, you know, I can say for example, Collingwood wanted to trade me, or you know, if you're in that situation, you can say no if you're contracted. So you have a bit more power in that regard.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess we've all been traded except
I
for
know.
this guy.
There's something this year, isn't there, with like the number 1 pick? Was it Harley
There's
Reid?
speculation on Harley whether, because he's Victorian, will he
Yeah.
go to West Coast to have pick one? You would think, or you know, or
Who's
do they-
second? Who's second bottom?
it's
North.
Yeah, or do they think that he'll stay there for 2 years and want to come home, and then they've got nothing? Like, could
Because
they
they did
trade him?
that. Horn Francis said he didn't want to play here anymore. and
Yeah, well,
wanted to go
that's
home.
a prime example. So he stayed
Yeah.
for 1 year and left. So you don't probably want that, do you?
No.
You want to keep your number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you pick a pick 4 or 5 that's sort
Well,
of
you can
homegrown.
split your pick.
Like,
One you might trade it to
or-
another team, get
Yeah.
a number of picks.
Yeah.
The World Cup's coming up soon as well for basketball.
Yep.
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
We got a good squad. Well, you guys are heading to Cairns, you said, to prepare for that.
Yep.
That's coming up, and
Yeah.
then who do you think are the countries that, obviously USA, who are they bringing out in their team, and then who are some other countries who we think we'll be competing with?
Yeah, obviously we've got World Cup. We've got a squad of 18 now, and it'll get cut to 12. So hopefully make that team, and I'm sure it'll be a competitive training camp because Australia's got a lot of good players right now, and a lot of players that are capable of making that team. And I think USA is probably the favourites by a little bit, but we're up there. Canada's up there. Spain, Serbia, France. Those guys are always up there. Slovenia with Luka.
Saw Jokic isn't playing. He just announced that. Yeah.
Jokic isn't playing, but Serbia is always a tough team, no matter who they put out there. And USA has gone with a bit of a different look this year. They've gone a lot younger, but I mean they're still talented players. Like I think their lineups like Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, like Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, they just got a lot of young talent, which I think that's a lot scarier than playing with those veterans like KD and
Well, those guys will probably play together, won't they?
Exactly.
As a team.
Exactly.
Do you reckon that's going to be a bit?
No egos.
Is that going to be a bit of a trend? Do you reckon with the US moving forward at that level, like playing a bit more of a younger crew compared to?
I think it might be. I think it might be. And actually, I don't think it's like planned that way. I just USA people, they'll put their hand up to play or they won't. And a lot of the guys have already played and won their gold medals, and that's what they want to do. So it's kind of the younger wave coming through now. But I mean, the younger wave is just as tough as the older wave. These guys, I think 3-4 of those guys just got offered max contracts. So they're still very good players, and they know how to play. So they'll be tough. But Canada's a team to look out for. They got a lot of
Who
good.
are some NBA household names from Canada?
Canada, they have Jamal Murray. They got SGA. They got
Murray, Canadian.
Lou Dort. They got like Kelly Olynyk. They got a lot of young guys that like Ben Mathurin, like Shaden Sharp.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if those guys are playing, but I think they got a full roster of NBA people, so they'll be tough. And then those European teams are always tough as well. So it'll be a good World Cup. So looking forward to it.
Have you been able to do much travel outside of the US and Australia, sort of outside of?
I've been to Spain.
Yeah.
I've been to like Latvia for a World Cup. But other than that, not really. I want to get to Greece next off season.
Mykonos.
That's
you next off season.
Looks like the
Get your decks, get your skills sorted by
decks.
then, and I want to see videos of you popping up playing at
You'll
decks
see
at
it,
Namos
yeah.
and Mykonos.
my explore page right now is just filled with beautiful
Mate,
women.
all your mates
So,
and all your mates in
all my
Europe. I feel like
mates.
all my mates are there.
Yeah.
Might have to get in a little McLovin card, actually.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All the boys
we
got one
went.
there.
We did a footy trip to
Going
Greece
to
last year.
Yeah.
We can give you some spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But
go
no,
to
I
Greece
need
next
to
year.
get out there next off season. So
100%. With the World Cup though as well. So SuperBoost, who sponsor our podcast, I'm not sure if you've seen SuperBoost before.
Mm-hmm.
Flip obviously have a bit to do with SuperBoost, but also sponsoring the team. What's the go there, Flip?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Have you
obviously,
tried these before? Dice?
Yeah,
I have not.
well,
I
we,
have
should-
not.
we
I'll
can have
give
a,
it a
we can have a
try.
try. Give him a. Because I was going to ask you who your favourite Aussie teammates are at the
Aussie
moment.
teammates.
Because Paddy and Paddy Mills, Joe Ingles are in SuperBoost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you
these
can give them
boys
some-
are
Give 'em
involved,
some
which is
feedback. Open it up, give
which
it
is
a go.
great. Yeah, have it.
Good try.
But
What is
hopefully
this?
you get some
Orange mango.
throughout the training camp. Some of these.
So are you
and
guys
hopefully-
sponsoring the team?
Yeah, we're gonna be getting some product to the boys, and then
That's
hopefully
good. It's like a
on the road.
I've had thousands of these. All the Collingwood boys drink these as well.
right. It's like a.
Australian.
It's kind of like a fruitier like Powerade kind of thing. Yeah.
What's your favourite time of having these of
So
the day? Well, when do you normally consume them?
A few of the guys have been bringing them to games and having it at half time.
Yeah.
So Port Adelaide on the weekend.
Like sort of in and around
Maybe that was the
match
reason.
day.
Maybe that was the reason we won the game. Port Adelaide half time came out after half time.
Well, you haven't. I don't reckon since having them more regularly, you probably haven't lost too many games.
Yeah.
The lads
That's
seem to
good.
be powered by,
Yeah, it's good.
That's
hey?
really good.
boosted by it.
Yeah.
Not powered
Also,
by it.
I like to have it probably as like a hydrating before a game rather than rehydrating
Yeah.
after a game. You know what I mean? So I'll have one before a game, normally.
We've got a box for Dice as well. You can have the blue one after.
yeah.
They're they've got a pack full of electrolytes, which is good.
You drink these in the
Natural flavours.
AFL as
Yeah.
well?
So all the Collingwood boys are on these at the moment.
Right.
I don't know, like Powerade and Gatorade, I think sponsor the AFL.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to get in trouble saying what I'm saying, but
Gatorade does. Yeah,
do
yeah,
they?
yeah. Not
You do,
Powerade.
but,
Yeah.
all us guys have been drinking these because we find it's not as like sugary,
Yeah.
easy to digest and stuff.
The best thing about them as well, outside of the match days and the training, is the performance is after we all go to the Emerson on Saturday.
I was going
We'll
to say,
probably
do you
need
reckon
one
you
of
could
these on
make
Sunday
like a
morning.
End of the year, when it's time for
Tequila
a drink.
SUPERBOOST.
Could you,
Yeah,
well, I was gonna say
little
vodka,
body soup.
Vodka SUPERBOOST.
Yeah.
Vodka Sui. That's
I think that could be us. Maybe
Yeah.
that's us in
Make a cocktail
New Orleans
edition.
in a few
Yeah.
That sounds
Go
good.
down to
know.
Bourbon Street, have a few vodka SUPERBOOSTs.
post game with the lads. How good would that be?
Yeah.
That'd be elite.
Rehydrating.
What about actually, we got to get to this. So we've been chatting a bit, and Dice, he knows his footy well. Like obviously big on his Tigers. Watches games when he's back home when he gets a chance. Went through the Tigers facility, I think. He's been to a fair few games. Coming to the Collingwood game tomorrow, but we're actually going to get him to the rooms tomorrow. So I'm still working on getting him to the Pies. We'll work on that. But I want to test his AFL knowledge with numbers because we've seen Giddy go to work. You and Gids are pretty close.
Yeah, I seen a video of him. He got them all. Did he get them all right?
I think he got
From a
most of them.
pack?
So we've got a few footy packs here. I'm going to take one, you take another.
Yeah.
We'll show him the player and then see if he can get the number.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I reckon, from what I can gather, he's going to be pretty good. But Josh is pretty good. So do you guys, like, when you run into the Aussies, say, like, OKC's playing New Orleans, do you guys catch up?
Yeah, I mean, me and Josh are very close. You know, we work out nearly every day together. So, you know, we've been close for years. So,
I've
hopefully
just
I can
seen the
beat him.
first card, and it's
What have you
someone
got?
he's mentioned. So we'll give him an easy one to start. I reckon. So I've got the numbers on the back here.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, is that the number?
That's a bit of a tough one.
No, that's all right. That's all right. We're good.
Nah.
We're good. Hold on,
Righto.
let me just double check this. Yeah, we're good. All right. This is, you're going to know this. I hope. He's one of your mates.
I can't see you.
So it's Josh
Oh,
Ward.
Josh Ward is 25.
Yeah. 25. 1 from 1. We'll go
about-
through my deck first. So I want to see how much footy he's been watching.
There's been a few movements though. So
Yeah, true.
a few
What
movements.
about? Well, this is tough. I actually don't know most of these.
You changed number, didn't you?
I'm 6 now.
Yeah.
I was 3 at Hawks. I'm so much better with older numbers than current day players. What about Steve Cornelio?
3.
Yeah, 2 from 2.
We've spoken about this guy.
CJ. Is he number 1?
No, he's single digit though.
Yeah.
He's
You can pass.
yeah, I'll pass.
All right.
4 maybe.
Who's 4?
Ah,
Jars is 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jazzy's 4. Yeah.
CJ's 9.
Yeah, I'm off.
Jake Stringer.
25.
That's pretty good. Ben Brown from Melbourne.
Ben Brown 50.
Yeah.
What about this guy?
I think he'll get that.
Paddy Cripps 9.
We haven't spoken to each other all week. Obviously, Carlton Collingwood.
Oh yeah, so a little.
Ball making stuff
Yeah.
together. Normally, in the lead up to this game, the group chat just goes a bit quiet. I think he's playing. He had a really bad corky. I think he's playing though. Give us your top 5 favourite Richmond players of all time. So
All
and-
time.
yeah. So go number 1's your favourite, and
Yeah.
then give us your top 5.
I've never done this with footy. Number 1 is Dusty.
Yeah.
Number 2 is I love watching Liam Baker play.
He's a
Liam
gun.
Baker. 3.
Boy.
I'm more into the newer guys. I don't know much.
What
old
about
guys.
George? Jace Castagna. Can't believe
Oh,
he
yeah.
retired.
Good
What a
pressure
man,
player, good pressure
Big
player.
George. Yeah.
I would say number 3 would be I love Vlaston, Nick
Yeah,
Vlaston.
Tough. He actually
Yeah.
broke my rib one game. Just a little cheeky one off the ball. And
Did
then
he?
the next time we played him, he cleaned me up again. And he's like, he came up to me mid-game and goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I don't know why I always go for you. I'm going to stop doing that." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
That's amazing.
Oh,
He had the
no.
awareness to
Yeah.
come
Well,
up.
you
and-
know when you just nail someone in the spot?
yeah. No, I don't
You
know.
got me.
I don't know.
This is
that
like
feeling.
2016, ages ago.
Yeah.
but good
Number
on him.
4, I'm gonna put the big marriage, the big mullet.
Oh, the-
Marriage.
how is that guy going?
wait, who?
Where is that guy at?
Who is
now?
that?
Ivan Marek.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Marriage, yeah. I don't know where he is.
What's his story?
He'd
Do
be
you know?
coaching somewhere.
know?
Or just brushing his
What
mullet
is his
or something.
What is his Toy Story?
Dunno.
What about 3 people you had to invite to a dinner? Dead or
In the whole
alive?
world?
Yeah. In history.
Daniel Moldovan.
Daniel Morgan.
Josh
He'll
Giddey.
be the last one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if I want some business tips, I'm gonna get Elon Musk. If I'm gonna take an artist, I'm gonna get Jay-Z. And if I want a nice, beautiful lady, I'll say, give me Beyonce. It's Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah, they'll come together anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
What about, this is just a stock standard
that?
one, but we have to do it, top 5, starting 5 of all time, NBA.
All
I'm sure you've done
time.
this before.
Yeah. I like to put Steph at my 1.
Yeah.
I always think Steph's at my 1. 2, I'm going to go with MJ. 3, I'm going to go with LeBron. 4, I'm going to go with Tim Duncan. And 5, I'm going to go with Kareem.
Nice. Good 5.
You're relatively tall. How tall is like a Steph Curry compared to you, and then
He's like
a LeBron or something? Like,
I mean, he looks small, but he's like 6'3", 6'4".
yeah.
So I mean, but he's strong. Like he's very strong.
Have you guarded him?
I've guarded him.
How'd you find
He
that?
just he definitely one of the toughest players to guard. I was on him for about 5 possessions and I was dead after that. He just run around.
Must be so fit.
Yeah, because I think one of the possessions they got 3 offensive rebounds, and like I just had to fight him every time. He's just running. You know, he'll like run into the basket, just stand there, take off again. So he's just unique the way he plays. No one else plays like him, and so you're not used to guarding those type of guys. So if you relax for a little bit, he's already gone. He's in the corner. So tough.
And I'm sure
to
the
guard.
offenses all run around him, so and
Exactly.
he knows where his screen's going to be, and he's just zipping around.
That's right. He knows where his screen's going to be. His teammates know where he's going to be. So he's definitely very hard to guard.
Yeah, 100%.
Team defense. We've got the perfect
Boy,
person in the seat. For
Superstar
what we're talking
defender.
about,
Who did you watch growing up? Like, who was like? Because obviously, like, probably I assume drafted top 10 because you're a great defensive
Yeah.
player, and offense has really come along as well.
Yeah.
Defensive can lock down anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you watch growing up? Because I guess, as you know, young aspiring athletes, everyone looks at the offensive juggernaut like your Steph Curry, the guys that can
Yeah.
shoot. But I'm sure you've got those guys, but also guys that are defensive lockdowns that can do what you can do. So
Yeah.
how did you attack that?
Yeah, I've always, I study a lot of defenders, and 2 guys that come to mind is Mikal Bridges and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
And another one I look at is Marcus Smart as well. These guys, like, just the instincts they have, like, I think defense it's a lot about, heart and hustle, but it's a lot about having good instincts as well, just being able to read the game. And, I think people have offensive license to go do whatever they want, and people have a defensive license. And, I have my defensive license, so I'm able to, gamble, go for steals and stuff like that, because, that's kind of how I play and how I, get my buckets. So, I definitely, study like those 3 guys the most, but I think it's important to study defenders as well as offensive players. So
100%.
If you weren't playing basketball, what do you think you'd be wanting to be, a DJ or
Footy.
a firefighter
Footy first.
or a footy, or
footy
what
first.
would you be doing?
Yeah,
Be in
if it's
the
not
ruck at Collingwood.
Yeah.
if it's not footy, I'd definitely be something in the music industry. School wasn't for me, so it wouldn't be anything smart.
Something sport related.
Yeah, something sport related or music or something like that. So.
Unreal.
How tall are ruckmen usually in the AFL?
What are you? 6'8".
6'7".
You'd probably be an undersized ruck.
Unsized, right?
What is that? 190?
That's 202.
No, it's
Oh, is
202.
that
I'm about 6'8" now, I think.
Yeah,
I'll
probably,
take
you're
6'8".
probably not much, and you can jump as well, so probably you're not that far off it. I reckon our tallest in the league would be close to 7 foot. Probably Max Gorn would be close to 7 foot.
Nice going.
Did you go through like with maturity? Have you gone through different growth spurts at different times, or did you grow all at once, or like? Were you
Yeah, I
sort
was a
of-
late grower. I had there was like a year where I grew a good 4 inches. But I mean, yeah, I was a late grower. Growing all through my junior career, I was like 6 foot and under, so I had guard skills. And then as I grew, I still had those guard skills, which helped. So me and Giddy are very very similar in that aspect. He was a late grower as well. So we're like bigger guards now that can handle the ball. So definitely a late grower.
It's going to be a good combo for the years to come. Yourself and Giddy. Pumped to see it at the footy tomorrow night. We'll get you down in the rooms. Thanks so much for jumping on. Good
No
to chat.
worries.
Hope you like the Super Boost.
It was great.
You can take
It was
these
great.
home with you. I reckon you've probably got Gids covered in the footy game as well. So
That was tough. You left some tricky cards.
yeah,
in
some
there.
tough ones in there.
Yeah.
But Gids is coming to the footy tomorrow night as well. So
Yeah.
it's good to have you guys back home in Australia. Can't wait for the World Cup as well.
Appreciate
Hopefully
it.
we get a medal and go from there.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
Yeah, let's go for
Cheers,
gold. I reckon.
Hey,
How
gold,
good would that
yeah.
be? Yeah.
Gold would be great.
Be done.